Hey guys, this is Resonant, and I wanted to do a like a listening reaction thing through my debut album, just to be able to give you guys some transparency on how I made it, my thoughts on what I sing about, how I produced it, how I wrote these songs, and what I think about them now. And uh, just want to be transparent and show you guys this is what I think about the album, and hopefully get you guys to listen to it yourselves. Um, so I will be planning to open up projects for my favorite songs on the album. I will be planning to share stories, tell you guys how I made this stuff, and of course listen to the music and give my reactions on that. So um, I guess I'll start by listening to the first song, Driving Song. This is the instrumental to open the album. And I guess to start this song, I just wanted to make like an instrumental which felt like it was doing like a soft launch into the world that we were going to be entering with these 10 songs, 40 minutes of music, with a nice piano and a nice just like bass to build the rest of the songs on top of. Like, this is going to be my production style, this is going to be what the music is going to typically sound like. And so let's get into it, and then I'll tell you guys like how I made it and blah blah blah. So um let's listen. um so yeah, that's the start of the album. For that one, it was honestly a really not that interesting story for this one. I seriously just mm, um standing up at my our little bar counter in our kitchen was where I made most of these songs, just having ideas and then kind of forming them um into projects. For this one, I was just standing there and I came up with this nice chord progression. Um, and then I just put in all of the synths. I think I had one synth, and then I cut that one out when the big drop hit, and I had a bigger fully reverbed out one that kind of filled all of the space to make it feel bigger. And then I put like a choir doing the same thing on top of that. And then I did these like guitar strum thingies in like the left ear during one part, and then I did a counter melody using the synth from the first part, and that was really it. And then I did like the drum kit, but something really simple, and I just made something I liked, and I decided to put it as the first track. And I probably made this like um I don't know, like 2 months ago, and it just stuck throughout the whole project and the whole process. And it's one of my favorite songs, honestly, that I've made, even though it's just an instrumental. I think it's just so cool in the way it's mixed. Like the synths really like cut through the piano and feel like they're just slapping you in the face, like they're right there. And then the drums are really nice, and like the kick is round and powerful, and the snare has some bite to it as it hits. So I love that, and it's just a good song. Um, just a soft launch into what the album might sound like. And here's the second one. This one took about 6 months to make. The original idea came off of a acoustic guitar picking loop that I found, and I made this whole thing on GarageBand on my phone, and I just mastered it on there with a limiter, compressor, and everything. I didn't mix my vocals. My vocals are a little bit a little bit off tune too, but it just sounded so like real and raw. I wanted to keep that, so I put it in the project. And this is it. This is called Blood Bags, and it's a song about like giving everything you have to a person, like draining your blood, and no one, them not giving anything in return and just leaving you out to dry, I guess. Basically, there's no better way to say it than that. So let's listen to it.
Really right before you go. No one said you had to leave. Hit the door on your way out. Really like poetry. Yellow snow turned red by touch. Leave my worry behind. No one said it's easy. You're just supposed to know.
sorry, that's one of the songs I like listening to. Um, yeah, so that was very interesting. I think I had like 15 tracks of drums doing claps, tambourines, shakers. I had multiple drum kits. I think I had like kicks going. I had like four snares, all having different tones and different jobs. And um, I think it's interesting that not only is there a clear master on this one, even though it was mastered completely on my iPhone, but I also think it's cool that I was able to sing that whole song in one take. Um, and I remember where I was. I recorded those vocals like 6 months ago, probably like August 2025. Um, and I was sitting on my couch in the living room, and I had this like tan stool that I set like my mic on, and in between phrases I would sit up because my back hurt, and I would lean down next to my mic because I don't have a pop filter, and I would just lean down like this, and I would be singing my part. So I just think it's funny. Um, but that was one of the first songs I ever made that was fully produced and ready to release. So I'm proud of that, and I feel like as you get into these later songs like this one that I'm about to play next, you can see how I've grown production wise, and it's really cool to see the parallels. Um, for this next song, This Love Was, I recorded these vocals in stereo. Sorry. So the vocals are surrounding you in your ears all the way around, and there's only one vocal track, and it's just surrounding through your ears, and you can hear it through like the headphones. So that's interesting, and just the way that I produced it out and made it feel like this like folk rocky kind of track, but it still held an indie folk DNA within it is really interesting in the way I was able to balance that out. But I just love this song a lot. So this one is about some like basically a breakup and not being able to get over them and being depressed after the fact. And it's a very interesting track.
Sky turning black, people turn blue. I miss the fact that I can call you. I'm lost in my head. Who could I run to? You're the only one who I truly knew. Now it's over. It rains every day, and I can call you up, 'cause the phone lines are dead. So I cried in my car, fell asleep at the wheel, went to bed in my clothes. I wish this love was
So that's an interesting track. One of the some of the production notes that I'd make on this song is you can hear, especially in the first verse, where it sounds like there's this weird like humming noise, like hmm, hmm. I found this like ambient loop in Logic that had this cool like little like I can't think of it. It was like an ambient like little hum thingy going on, and I chopped it up and I put in the song. I think it was a nice layer. Um, and the other stuff like I um I had a pipe organ going in that final like big like bridge moment with an grand piano, and then that grand piano is the one that's hitting those like broken chords in the end, which is funny because I used a soft cinematic piano throughout the entire song, but I switched it for that one moment. But it feels like it fits so well because it feels like a grand piano is naturally just stiff and upright, probably because um, I go to church and when we sing hymns, we do a grand piano. It feels just naturally like stiff and like hard to me. So playing those broken chords with a grand piano and then having those unsettling like pads and synths in the background as like the song kind of just like grandly granulates out and like fades out was interesting because I love to make these contrasts between the the instrumental feels big and like bittersweet in a way. The vocals are sad, and like the way I mixed the vocals was very like muffled and like dreary, but then the end is very unsettling. So the way that you're able to contrast all of those to make a song that makes you feel so many emotions at the same time is interesting. It's something I like to do because I want people to feel these certain emotions when I do the my music, and I think I accomplished that. And this one's one of my favorites. It's very nice, it's very straightforward, but I feel like there's so much to unpack in the lyrics. Um and I think I have the project for that. I may be able to open that for you guys so you guys can see the different layers. I don't have that vocal recording that I did in the actual take. For some reason I deleted it, but I do have the instrumental still going, so I'll try to show you guys some of that. Um, but the next track is called My Luck. That is one that I made that's kind of like an alternative, like alt rock, indie rock, like little bit of folk mixed in. Um, and I wanted to go for a very live feeling with the electric guitars, only using grand pianos and like an organ. And I used some synths to back up the instrumental, but I didn't make them like the big picture as I usually would for melodies. And I wrote this song really just feeling down about myself and my abilities to be like a good man. And some of the lyrics may be kind of like confusing, but the song is really just about being afraid that you can't bear the weight of your troubles and not and feeling like you're inadequate to be responsible for the people you love, which is a very important topic to me and is something that really hits me hard because that's something that I'm trying to work on a lot in my journey and very recently in my journey as a person. That's why I put in songs like My Luck and Mistakes so that I could share that journey with you guys and feel like I could put all of my emotions into this, these couple of tracks that make me feel better. And I still listen to these tracks even though they're out just whenever I feel down because it makes me feel like I can put that into words and I still have a mission to be fixed. But this song is very interesting production wise, and I'm working on a deluxe version of this song and of this album. I've got a couple songs in the works right now, just giving you guys a sneak peek. Um, so I'll open the project and I'll have a couple new production tweaks that I can show you guys from this version to the version that's on my Mac right now. So I'll show you guys that stuff. Break down some of the instrumentation. You'll be able to get a picture of how many layers I'm using, my vocal production or my mixing on this one, and how I approached it. But yeah, I really experimented with the rock sound that I'm very interested in with what do you call it, with guys like Somber and Joe Kiri as my inspirations recently for music. So I'll show you guys this track and we'll see how it goes. I like this one personally. We'll see. Let's go.
What you doing, you can't care for them like you care for her. Gonna break yourself apart to put it back together. Gonna do it with your sympathy, another shoulder to cry on. Don't do it like that. They didn't care for you. They didn't care for you. They didn't care for you. Why would you expect them to? They didn't care for you. They didn't care for you. Why would you expect them to? Went to the doctor and he said I'm cured, but I still feel a weight on my back. When will I be healed of the burden of guilt that I have? I carry it every day, hoping someone will see that and pick it up. But that's just my luck. 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 I'm always stuck in the same rut I was before. That's just my luck. they didn't care for you. They didn't care for you. Why would you expect them to? But that's just my luck. But that's just my luck. But that's just my luck. I'm always stuck in the same rut I was before. But that's just my luck. But that's just my luck. But that's just my luck. That's just my luck. But that's just my luck. But that's just my luck. That's just my luck. But that's just my luck. But that's just my luck. I'm always stuck in the same rut I was before.
Sorry, guys. That was again another song. Yeah, for that one, that's interesting. One of the biggest things that really lifted this song was breaking down the bridge and taking out all the guitars and just putting the grand piano and the pad, and then bringing back the muffled drum kit and the high plucking piano as it built up. And I didn't do any drum fills this entire song. I don't like to do drum fills a lot. I don't know, they just take up space, and I'd rather just have a regular beat. I don't know. Um, so just starting the beat like one beat early as it went into there was my version of a drum fill, and I think it added a lot more energy than a normal drum fill would. So I'm happy about that. And then all of the gang vocals coming in, where you're just like, "That's just my luck. I'm stuck in the same rut I was." Well, for that one, what's really funny is I was like screaming those, uh, and I did four of them, two pan left and right, and then two down the middle. And I was just screaming them at the top of my lungs, and I'm pretty sure my neighbors probably thought I was getting killed the way I was screaming. And I was just screaming them, and then what I did is I grouped them up into like a mixing folder, and then what I did is I put on a bunch of reverb, and then I put like a clip distortion on the entire thing to make them feel wider and bigger and more like broken up. Um, and I think that was a nice touch, to really just add this like layer. And yeah, that song turned out really well. I like the way that it was dark and it was very gritty, and I think that adds to the emotion and the rawness of the song to not have so much brightness, because I feel like this whole album, Up and Down, is so bright, and kind of like the instrumentals are like bittersweet and the lyrics are sad because of what I'm singing about. But to have one song or like a couple of songs, as you'll see, they're just super dark and diluted with just distortion and high pass or and like high pass and low pass filters, really makes this one stand out in the album as one that that naturally just makes you really just think about like what I'm saying and what's going on. Um, it's just an interesting song, and I love the way that it just kind of brings that out of people. For this one, the vocal mixing is really bad. I'm sorry. I recorded this one in a voice memo, and then I made this one at like 12 o'clock at night, and like wrote it and everything, sang it, and then did like a quick drum part on my drums over there, and then like released it that night. So the vocal mixing is bad, and I'm sorry. I thought it was good until I released it, and I'm an idiot because of course I didn't check the mix. Idiot. So also for the deluxe version, I'm gonna be fixing the vocals on that. Probably try doing it on an actual mic just to take away from all the warmth and like the lows that can dilute the mix. But right now, this is what I got, and I'm really sorry. But this song is about like just a rejection that I had recently, where I really liked this girl, and she decided she just wanted to be friends with me for now. It's just about like being friends with them and realizing that like the more you get to know them, the more you want them as like a partner, and just not being able to have them, and just that like that madness that you feel. I think I captured it well. And again, the instrumental is bittersweet with the lyric, with the everything, like the vocals just being sad. And that contrast is very interesting. But yeah, so this song, I'm sorry for your eardrums because the vocals are overall are good. It's just the mixing that's really bad. So I'm sorry for that.
I still feel the mistakes. I wouldn't ask you to stay though. You've done enough in your troubles to help me now. My half is empty, and I feel exhausted. Last night I didn't go to sleep, I just wanted to sit. It's hard to love someone from a distance, and after all this time I still want to do it. 'Cause the more that I know you, the more that I need you. The more that I'll just fall in love instead of just have a crush on you. The more that I need you is the more I can't have you. Is the more I can't have you.
Yeah, so there's that song. Again, vocal mixing is trash. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that song. I like the emotion and like the vocal tone that I had on that one. It feels like you can actually like feel the pain that I'm going through, which is very interesting. And it feels good when you can convey that kind of emotion to listeners through your music, and that's what I try to do. um, yeah, overall a good song. The way the electric guitar and the acoustic guitar kind of come together to make two different melodies on top of each other is very cool. And the way that I was able to do the drums. For the drums, I played my kick regular, but I record the snare not with like hitting it with a stick, but doing it with my fingers, and I was just hitting it with my fingers on top of the board or the head. and that made an interesting sound. So I'm happy with that, experimenting, and it actually sounded good. So yeah, I'm gonna remix those vocals, make it sound really nice and tight, so that if you guys do like that song and want to listen to it, I have a version out there in the world that um where the vocals don't take out the entire mix and they sound good. So I'm gonna do that for you guys. In case you guys want to listen to it. If you guys don't listen to it. I'm totally fine with that. The song's not perfect, but it conveys a real emotion from a real time in my life, and that's what I'm proud of. So next is This Happens. I wrote this one. I didn't really tell you guys on my YouTube channel like what it was about. So I wrote it about so I got laid off from my job. And it happened very suddenly, and I was kind of just like in shock because I didn't know what to do. I'm trying to pay for things in college, and I'm trying to get things done, and trying to become a man, and trying to get money for um for dates and stuff like that, and it's really hard to get like shut down kind of like that. And especially when you're like planning for your future and then you just lose your income, so that's really hard. And I just wrote it just kind of out of shock. And the song isn't about losing my job, because of course everyone loses their job at some point and they kind of just deal with it. But this song is really about just like taking these moments in your life where you feel just like there's a setback and there's nothing you can do, and just like turning it into sorry, my heater came on. And just like kind of like making the best of it and realizing that these things happen, this happens. Move on and just go on to the next better thing you can find and just live your life, you know. And I don't know, do I have the credits? Yes. So I did a recording session after my initial one that I dropped. I decided, okay, I want a guitar solo and all that. So my friend Charlie Jones, who is an amazing guitarist, he played on this track, and After the Impact as a guitarist. This one he did the electric guitar, he did slide guitar, he did a guitar solo, he did an octave up on the guitar solo, then he did a slide guitar under that solo during the bridge, and then in like the intro and the outro. And one thing I'm really proud of is in the because he what? Darn it. I didn't give him a mixing credit. Anyway, he helped me mix the guitars for that, so sorry, Charles, I didn't do that. But yeah, so what I'm really proud of also is that um, the electric guitar, slide guitar was recorded through an amp using my vocal mic, um, connected to the amp, and we used a delay pedal and a little bit of a distortion on it on the electric guitars, and I'm really proud of that because it was very DIY. Usually I use a DI through an interface and then I just mix the guitars myself, but letting him really like create the tone through his guitar pedals and then hooking up the amp and doing the EQ on the amp, it made less work for me to do in Logic to make it sound better and really fit in the song. So I'm proud of that DIY approach and being able to be like real with my music in that way and kind of like take a step forward and be more adventurous in like, oh, I can do that now. Cool. So I'm really proud of that. So we'll play This Happens. Let's do it. I love this song. So let's do it.
life. Gonna play it cool. This always happened, except for you. Is this really it? This is all I'll amount to. More cancer on my skin. I'm scared to lose. Someday I'll laugh about this. Another day I'll cry. And I hate every person that says this is just life. It's gonna pass me by someday, and I'll see it and I'll cry. 'Cause this happens to every person who's not afraid to try. It's gonna pass me by someday, and I'll see it and I'll cry. 'Cause this happens to every person who's not afraid to try.
Yeah, so that's a good song, and it always has a soft place in my heart as a song that helped me get through a lot of hard times. And just listening to the voice memo thingy on my files app of like what it sounded like to begin with, um, really impacted me and helped me really just get to this place where I can accept things and move on. And yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is my files. Actually, these are all the files of the songs. Half of these didn't even make it. Those are all the versions and everything. I have covers on there. But anyway, that helped me get through a lot of hard times and just realize that whatever happens, you can always just get a new job. You can always just, have something better, and whatever it is, um it's going to save you from that, and it's going to give you a better life. So just realizing that has been a gift, and I get to share that gift with you guys, and it's powerful. Um, so this song I used this I used the piano and the drums um from Driving Song. What I did was I went into the track of Driving Song once it was mastered and everything. I took out all the synths and everything except for the piano and the drums, and I just got this like melody in my head for the vocals, and I just sang the melody out, and came out with like on the spot. Like I hit record, didn't know what I was gonna sing, and I just started singing. After the impact, felt your voice hit like, and I sang the entire song. And since then, it was just a rat race to be able to figure out how am I gonna get this thing to the level where it impacts you emotionally the way that the words do for me. Um, and it was interesting the twists and turns I went with this song. You know, I was producing this song for good like 2 months or something. Um, and uh, Charlie really helped me with this one. He did electric guitar, acoustic guitar, um, basically everything that I needed. He was there to help me out and really finish this song and get it where it needed to be. Um, and just help me like, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do this, and stuff like that. So um, I'm really thankful for that because this song is also just really important to me to just get past a hard time in my life. And now this song is out there, it's finished, and it feels so freeing to not have it on my mind anymore. Like that emotion is just out there now, and it's gone from me. Um, and that just feels really good. Um, uh, and I'm just so proud of this song and the way it turned out. Now you have Charlie Jones. Oh, there it is. He played bass too on this song. He came up with a really cool like rhythmic tone. But there he is, mixing engineer on the bass, the electric. One thing that's really cool about the acoustic is we recorded it through my voice memos app on my phone, and then I airdropped that to my Mac, and I put it through and we timelined it and everything. But it's really cool just having those little imperfections, like using your iPhone speaker instead of a like good mic like this. Is just really powerful, and it just adds that rawness and emotion that you wouldn't get from anything else. So that's really cool. I'm really proud of this song. I hope you guys like this one.
After the impact, felt your voice hit mine. Thunder breaking glass, and I couldn't find you in the ashes of a love that came and went, and I couldn't stop it. Now my heart only bleeds from the wounds that you gave me. I hope it leaves a scar so I don't forget it. It hurts like you never knew I existed at all, though I never let you forget it. Cause after the impact, our souls only met an impasse between what we thought and we knew was true. Now my heart only bleeds from the wounds that you gave me. Never thought I'd feel so complete the days that you met me. And now I'm so sure that I feel empty the day you say sorry you ever met me. choice is only yours. Now my heart only bleeds from the wounds that you gave me. And I hope it leaves scars, so I'll never forget. The day that you met me.
Yeah, for me, that's a really powerful song about just moving on from a heartbreak and just never forgetting those memories that you had with them. Um, and it was a wild ride to finish that song, but once I did, it felt just so freeing. A really cool fun fact about the vocals is I actually opened a new project and I recorded those just to a click. I didn't record those to the actual track. I didn't have anything in my ears but the click. I just memorized how the chord progression in the piano goes, and I just did it based off of that, and I just dropped them in the project. So that's interesting. So my timing is a little bit off, but it's just really cool. Those little things that make something stick out from something else. This next track is a beautiful place to start. This one I wrote on the fly because I felt like I just wanted to experiment a little. So I wrote like a 80s synth pop kind of track with a Lindrum beat and a whirly keyboard as like the main instruments. And then I just put like chorus, a little bit of clip distortion, and a bunch of like pitch correction on my voice. And I just did it. And it was just about like seeing the sun and finally feeling like you're out of that season of grief and heartache and being able to move on again. It's a quick track, not much about it that's special. It was just I wanted to experiment a little, have a little bit of fun. Um, so I hope you guys like this track.
Give me something to look forward to. I need some help. Sun shining through the window. Is this what I've been waiting for? Daylight is streaming in. I couldn't ask for more. Feeling my heart okay again. This is a beautiful place to start. Beautiful place to start.
Yeah, so that's a fun track. I know the beat is a little bit too loud and the kick is a little too powerful. I already fixed that for the deluxe version. revamping all the tracks just to make sure they're at my standard. Um, and then this next one is Mistakes. This one is the only song I've written that can drive me to tears because it's so powerful to me how I was able to say my emotions so clearly about who I am and what's wrong with me and what I need to fix. And it's so telling of where I am in my life right now. And putting it at the end right before track number 10, I feel like I want that to be the last thing people remember is who I am and why I wrote these tracks. Um I don't know. To me, it just hurts, but in a good way to remind myself every time I listen that um, I'm not who I want to be, and it's just so good. So I'll let you guys listen to this one. Hopefully, you guys like it, but these are my emotions, so I don't really care.
Did you find your peace yet? From all your troubles, you find a place to finally call your home. I'm still hurting from all you said. I didn't get my peace yet. I know you're still afraid to fail. You said you would find a place you could feel at home. Did you find it yet? Make yourself coffee every morning and you sit at home by yourself. Is that your fear or your regret? You push them away and now you're alone and afraid. Give them what they wanted. Now you talk to yourself like this. Wanna feel the pain like this. Let it past your nerves and through. That tingling feeling you feel in your face. Is that a smile or a tear? Wanna love yourself again. Forgot what it felt to laugh. I'm tired of leaving myself in pain. Is there a way to get past this and finally feel again? wanna feel sorry for myself. I wanna get up again. Nothing feels the same as it did when I was a kid. I used to be happy sometimes. I would look over my shoulder, even with people I love. 'Cause I'm afraid that they don't love me anymore. I don't know. When I look at my life, there's always something missing, even when I have some sort of big success and people praise me and they tell me I did such a good job that I'm gonna succeed in life if I just keep doing what I'm doing. But I don't know, I always end up alone. I always make a mistake. I always hurt the people I love. I always stay lazy and unqualified for what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm always making the same mistakes, always committing the same sins. Nothing seems to change. When I look at my life, I don't want anything to be missing. And I want to feel like when I look at myself, I was a success. I succeeded, maybe not in everything I did, but like when I had to pay the bills, when I had to protect my family and provide for them, when I had to love the people that I love, when I had to do a responsibility that I had to do. I want to know that I did it. I don't want to be a mistake. I don't want to make the same mistake and just expect to be fixed at the end of the day. So it's not who I am. It's not who I strive to be. But I'm just rambling.
Yeah, like I said, that song is really just personal. Just who I want to be versus who I am right now. I feel like everyone can be better. Everyone can look at themselves and see like something they do that they can do better, something mistakes that they make that they can change. And people that say, "Oh, that's just the way we are. We make mistakes." They're wrong. You can change. You can make yourself better, and those who choose not to are foolish. I choose to make myself better, and I choose to beat myself up over the mistakes that I make because it's important. It doesn't mean I hate myself. It means I hate the things that I'm doing wrong. And I just want to do better. And every day is a battle to do that. And I think that song really just encapsulate all of that for me in a really powerful way. So this one is my afterword. This is just me talking about just the album, what the songs mean, where my headspace is at when I wrote these songs, and what they should mean to you guys. Um, and this isn't, again, like I said, like I'm going to say in this isn't a playlist save or something that you want to listen to. It's something that comes from my heart. I hit record and I just said what I wanted to say. I didn't premeditate this. This is what I wanted to say about the album I created and the work that I did and where I am right now in my life. So this is, if you listen to it once, at least you listen to it and you understand this album better from my perspective. So let's just listen to it and see what you guys think. When I think of this album, I probably think the most of just what I was going through at the time that I wrote these songs, and what I'm going through today that makes them still relevant to my life. I've gone through some heartbreaks. I've gone through some massive introspection about who I am as a person, who I want to be, and I don't know. It's just like looking at these songs, they feel distant from who I am today, but they still feel close to me. But especially with the song like Mistake, that one feels the closest to who I am right now. Just looking at myself, I still feel inadequate to do what I want to do in my life. I still feel like I'm making a lot of mistakes. I still feel like there's a better guy for the job than me to do anything that I want to do. And I feel like there isn't enough taking ownership of who you are. Who I am is a punk kid that still makes mistakes. I'm a guy that's not perfect by any way, shape, or form. And I'm not okay with that. Some people would say, oh, well, that's in nature. You're human. You're going to do that. We all make mistakes. But, it's not okay to make a mistake. It's a mistake for a reason because it's a miss. You didn't hit the mark of what you were supposed to be doing or your responsibility, so you made a mistake. And I make too many of those. And it doesn't feel good to make a mistake like that, It feels like it hurts the people that I love, which really kills because that's the most important thing, are the people that I love. But looking at Mistake, it feels so close to who I am right now because I haven't found peace yet in this world. I haven't found a true home in this world yet. And I still feel alone. Even with all the people around me that are helping guide me and support me throughout my whole journey, I still feel alone. And I don't know why. It's just one of those things where it's hard to escape. Being lonely and being inadequate. All you have to do is just make it better. And that's what I'm trying to do. Every day is a battle to make myself better. And every day I make a mistake. And I keep making mistakes. And I doubt it's ever going to stop. But that's not the question of my life, is whether I'm going to be perfect or not. It's whether I'm going to get better or not. If at the end of my life I am perfect, I will feel inadequate still. Because perfection never gained you anything. What I want to do, or to be, at the end of my life, is someone that, when he looks at the beginning of his life, he is better. And that's who I want to be. I want to be a better man every single day. And, writing these songs doesn't make me feel better. It gets out those emotions in the moment so I can feel like I did something. Music isn't some big cure for anything, except for you don't have to get a regular job. You just do music all day and you stop. And you go to sleep and you eat. That's not my big goal in life, to just do that. My big goal in life is to be better than I was before and contribute to the things in this world that can help other people. And that's what I want to do, every day, is just be a better man. So these are what these songs try to convey. This is how I feel. And this isn't some big playlist thing where, this is another song you're gonna heart. This is just how I feel about the album and the songs I made. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, that says it all, and I still feel the same. I don't want to be perfect. I don't want to be that guy. I just want to be the man that God made me to be, and I'm not there yet. I'm not close. Um, and that's where I am in my life, and in a few months I may feel different, and I may write songs about that. I don't know, but right now that's just how I feel. So let's open a couple projects, show you guys what's going on, then I'll shut up. Come on, move. Let's start with My Luck. There it is. So this is the project for my song My Luck. Yeah, so going through it, I really want to show you the choir first. So I have all of these going. Let me show you guys what it sounds like dry, and then with everything on it. But that's just my luck. I'm stuck in the same rut I was. But that's just my luck. I'm stuck in the same rut I was. But that's just my luck. I'm stuck in the same rut I was. But that's just my luck. I'm stuck in the same rut I was. But that's just my luck. And I'll show you with everything on it, and you'll see. I almost maxed out my mic's input volume with all that yelling. Like I said, I'm pretty sure people thought I was getting killed or something. And then show you all this. Got this clip distortion, chroma glow for some extra distortion, and then just cleaning up frequencies. And this is what I got now. But that's just my luck. I'm stuck in the same rut I was. But that's just my luck. And then do it with like all the vocals. Let's see.
Before.
But that's just my luck.
But that's just my luck.
I'm stuck in the same. What?
But that's just my luck.
But that's just my luck.
But that's just my
I'm
luck.
stuck in the same rut I was. But that's just my luck.
But that's just my luck.
I'm stuck in the same. So breaking down all the vocals, you have the choir stuff, blah blah blah. Already went over that. So you have the lead vocal, and what I put on that is channel EQ, a compressor with a makeup gain of 10. Dang, this song is loud, I guess. Basic de-esser, got this for some analog warmth, clip distortion, and then another EQ to add back some of the highs and take out the boxiness after the fact. So let me show you like the lead vocal, and I'll also put in these faders right here.
What you doing? You can't care for them like you care for her. Gonna break yourself apart to put it back together.
I put on clip distortion after the fact on the lead vocal for the deluxe version. But you can tell what it sounds like dry. And then after that, I had these, which were like the chorus parts. Those I had the distortion on too.
They didn't care for you.
You can hear me swallowing before I started the part. That's disgusting. And then we had this part, which was just like all reverbed out for like the big sections where all the instruments came in.
They didn't care for you.
And then in context with everything, turn that down.
Expect them to. They didn't care for you. They didn't care for you.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Other than that, like the really cool stuff in the vocals is during that bridge part where I can just solo the vocals out.
Why would you expect them to? But that's just my luck. But that's just my luck.
Let me solo that out. Take out all of the reverbs and delays.
My luck.
32.
My luck.
What I was doing for that was I had the metronome in my ear and I was listening to like the track. And I was just standing back from the mic, probably like 2 yards, and I was just screaming, "My luck!" So, yeah, that was really hard though. It put such a strain on my voice. And then I had to sing the second verse after that. So, it put a lot of stress on my voice. But you have that, and then you have all of the yelling during that, which is so like, what's the word? Like, psychotic if you just heard it like alone.
I'm always done. I'm always done.
What? Oh.
I'm always done. That's my luck.
It sounds so bad, but I don't really care because it's supposed to like this whole song is supposed to be so unhinged. But going back to like all that, up here you have the electric guitars. For this one, this is like the main electric guitar. If you take out like all of this, you'll see what it sounded like before. that's the key. Take out all the highs and all of the lows, and that's what you're gonna get. It sounds just super smooth. So you do that. I got the acoustic guitar, which I didn't really do much. I did like my main chain for acoustics. You can hear all the low end resonance. So once you turn on the EQ, then it really changes. So you gotta tame that stuff. Um, Other than that, it's just compressors, multiple EQs to just bring out more of the highs. Um, if you go to the bass is pretty simple. Throughout this entire project, this whole album, I used the crunchy bass preset for everything, and then based off of that, I mainly just put in like an EQ just to make sure that everything sounded the way it needed to, and it had enough bass frequencies. Need